Stray mother cat brought her sick kitten to the hospital to get help immediately. Cats are one of the most intelligent animals out there, instinctively knowing what to do in times of crisis. If Merva Oskin didn't know that before, she certainly knows it now. Stay tuned to find out what happened when a stray mother cat brought her sick kitten to the hospital to get help immediately. Before we hear about Merva Oskin, we have two very similar stories to share with you today, Marie and Aslan. Sometimes Valentine's Day can be full of unexpected surprises. That very day in 2018 certainly was for Marie Simard. Marie's employee Jael had heard strange noises coming from her backyard. She wasn't sure if it was the neighborhood kids messing around or not, but went out to check regardless. Jael was gobsmacked to find a little orange tabby cat with a solemn grin covered in the winter, begging with one paw edged on the frost. Ridden window to be let in, the cat then moved and started to scratch at her door, meowing as if to ask for help. Jael was a foster volunteer with Unshat, a La Folla kitten rescue in Quebec, Canada. She immediately opened the door for the furry feline and gave it something to eat and drink. Jael then sent the owner of the cat rescue, Marie Simard, a photo of the cat. The rescue shelter wasn't accepting any more animals, but she didn't want to turn a blind eye to the kitty. Marie instructed Jael to take the cat to their partner clinic. At the clinic, the vet discovered that the cat did indeed need help. He was covered in bite wounds, fleas, and ticks, and was suffering from frostbite, rotten teeth, and diabetes. Marie knew that if the stray hadn't asked for the attention he so desperately needed, there was no way he would have made it through another freezing winter. Despite his weakened state, the cat was just grateful to be around people again and getting cared for. He was very nice to all the employees at the clinic and would often take his little paw out of the cage so people would pet him. Marie named the cat Aslan, after the line in the Chronicles of Narnia series. After a few days with treatment in the clinic, Aslan's health improved, and he went to live in a foster home where he quickly became friends with his new mom's cats every day. Aslan made sure his foster mom, Marie, knew just how happy and grateful he was to be safe and warm. When it came time to find Aslan a forever home, his foster mom couldn't bring herself to separate him from his new sister and fellow rescue, cat Cleo. He liked to sleep next to her, and she would groom him too. They both found comfort in each other. A year later, Aslan has turned out to be the best Valentine surprise his family could have asked for. They both received love from each other that they never knew they needed. Two rescue cats who had a tough life now live in their forever home. Jason and Pope. You'd think that a stray kitten would accept any offers of affection, but one cat was holding out for Mr. Right, and he knew who he was the moment he saw him. When Jason Alicia's rental car broke down earlier this month, it was very inconvenient to say the least. Jason was out returning his rental car in Georgia, USA. When he heard a desperate cat crying out for help in the parking lot, he looked left and right, and then finally under the car next to him was where he found the poor little guy soaking wet and all alone and malnourished. In fact, the young stray showed no hesitation in approaching. He rubbed his face on Jason's hand, eager for attention. The cat was more than happy to come closer and get into Jason's arms. Jason knew that this moment must have been happening for a reason, and if he were a homeless kitten, he'd want a big friendly giant to come along and help him. While rescuing an animal didn't quite fit in with Jason's plans for the rest of the day, he knew he couldn't leave that beautiful lonely cat behind. Jason scooped the tiny stray up, bundled him into the car, wrapped up in his jumper, and changed the course of his day. Jason immediately drove to the rental agency and informed them that he'd need the car for a few more hours so he could drive the cat to a shelter. Luckily, the person behind the desk was happy to help and overlooked the fresh wet paw prints in the car's interior. It was obvious to Jason that this cat was in need of attention and some tender loving care. He thought the best plan of action was to take the stray cat to the local shelter nearby to check if the little one belonged to anyone, but they couldn't find an owner and the shelter said they weren't able to help any further. The local shelter's response to the young stray were not what Jason had hoped for, quite the opposite. They informed him that since he's older than 3 months, they would put him back on the street where he was found, because he could probably survive on his own. The shelter gave Jason a carrying case for the cat, but he didn't want to be separated from Jason, not even for a moment. He kept screaming except for when Jason held him in his arms. Jason finally returned home with the kitten. He named the fairy feline Pope, and he made himself right at home, and started using the litter box and made friends with Jason's friendly corgi goose. Popey even insisted on sleeping in the same bed with his new foster dad and dog brother. But Jason knew that no matter how much he loved the little cat, their little arrangement couldn't last forever. Due to his often hectic schedule as a musician and photographer, Jason couldn't give the kitten the care and attention he so desperately craved, so he made sure he could find someone who did. One of Jason's dear friends reached out and said she had a place for him, since he couldn't keep him. So Jason took the opportunity and brought him over before the attachment grew stronger. While Jason was sad to say goodbye, he knew that what he was doing was the best for, but that didn't stop the pain from hurting any less when Popey left. He was a joy and a pleasure to have around. Goose and Jason both miss him a lot, but he'll always be close at his friend's place, and his new mom always keeps everyone up to date with photos and videos of the pretty kitty's adventures. Before we dive into our last story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon on. Merva Oskin, mother cats are extremely instinctual. They move their babies only to places that they feel are safe. Just like every other mother, they do everything in their power to protect their little offspring. Merva Oskin was working her shift in the hospital when she encountered a surprising entry Istanbul in Turkey. Stay tuned to find out what happened. When a stray mother cat brought her sick kitten to the hospital to get help immediately. The Turkish have long been known for their love and care for stray animals, with many leaving out food and water for them on the streets. Their hospitable nature made them provide the cats with the necessary help. Anyone who works in a hospital knows that you have to be ready for an emergency at all times. Someone with serious need might walk through the doors, and you have to take charge and save their lives. Merva was busy working in the emergency room when she suddenly noticed something brown and tiny strolling along the corridors, carrying something in their mouth. She couldn't quite believe her eyes at what she discovered. She saw a little brown striped cat with a tiny kitten-tucked arrow sewed gently in her mouth. Merva thought her eyes were deceiving her until one of her colleagues pointed out the same thing. The mother gently placed her offspring on the ground while mewing for someone's attention. In a heartwarming incident, the pair along with the rest of the co-workers rushed to the aid of the stray mother cat who carried her sick kitten to the facility. The incident occurred in Istanbul, Turkey, a beautiful city that is home to thousands of stray animals. As sad as it was that the stray cat's kitten was injured, it was extremely impressive that she knew the hospital is where people and animals go to get help with their health. Photos that have gone massively viral on social media show the mother cat in the emergency room of the hospital. Surrounded by medical staff and patients came to Peter. She had reportedly given birth near the hospital. Shared by thousands of people on Turkish social media and liked by thousands of people on Reddit, the story made many hearts warm and eyes well up. In the photo shared on Twitter, a baby kitten is seen carried by its mother to the emergency room. Today, we were in the emergency room of the hospital when a cat rushed to bring her offspring in her mouth. Merva Oskin, who originally shared the photos, wrote. The Turkish media reported that the medics intervened immediately and checked the kitten for obvious health issues. The mother cat was following her baby around and did not let it out of her sight. They inspected the kitten for obvious health problems. All watched the mom watched nearby. The mother cat followed her kitten around the hospital. While the staff were busy looking after it, she never let the kitten out of her sight. The mama cat was given milk and food by the kind hospital staff. After that, the two were sent to a vet for a proper evaluation, because I know you won't bring what happened to the mom and her tiny baby. It's not clear what was wrong with the kitten. However, it was reported that the mother had given birth near the hospital. Both mom and kitten seem to be doing okay though, so that's the most important thing. Merva posted the photos on the social media site, Twitter, where they quickly went viral and made their way over to Reddit. Several people praised the medics for their prompt response in dealing with the mother cat and kitten in their time of need. What would you do if you saw a cat in need of help? Tell us in the comments below. We love hearing what you have to say. See you next time.